Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Inside Horseshoe. My name is Matt, and not very happy about Sunday, but we are going to be talking about Week 1 games really quick, and then we're going to give our prediction for the upcoming games this season. I'm going to introduce the cocksucker to my right, Matty G. How you doing?
Tighten up, motherfuckers! I'm doing good. Feeling, a little disappointed because I thought I had done a little bit better in our predictions than y'all this week, but it looks like three of us have tied, but that's okay. I do want to point out that out of everybody on our panel tonight, my team, bitches, is the only one that actually won this week. Go Tighten up.
Yay! The Titans are the only team that won. We're going to go to Jacob West, our favorite Papa. Well, depending on the day. Sometimes he's second, sometimes he's 20th. How you doing, Papa West?
You know, there are just a few things in life that are super disappointing. Finding out that you dropped from 38th favorite dad to 237th. It's one of those. Something else is seeing your team up 17-0, and then 30 minutes later, you're watching NFL Red Zone, or you quit watching for a little bit because you were stuck watching one game. Then you get back to it. Well, you see that little ticker at the bottom that says score update, and it pulls up the Philadelphia Eagles still with 17, and the Washington football team also with 17. You're like, wait, how did we let them score 17 points? Well, because it's a scoring update, that number bumped up to 24. Like, guys, how? And then you let them score a field goal after that? You blew a 17-point lead, and then you give up 27 unanswered points to a team without a name. A team without a name. Most disappointing thing ever.
Yeah,
Or a logo.
Look, I totally understand, a team blowing a lead or blowing the game like Philip Rivers. And we're going to go to our guests now. We're going to start off with the man right next to Papa West on the little thingy on my stream yard, and it is Steve the Pirate. How are you doing, Steve?
Yeah,
I'm excited. Football started back up. My team, the Lions, blew a lead too. So I was happy with that. Not really, but I'm just happy football is back, and I'm ready to talk about it.
Absolutely. And we're going to go to our other guest, Bruce the Shark. How you doing, Bruce?
Oh, man, I had trouble holding on to that. Yeah. Well, the Browns, man. I mean, what can you say? I wish I could say I'm disappointed, but I'm not really because, Baker Mayfield is just really, really bad. So hopefully Case Keenum plays. I doubt it, but I'm just, another season, Some things never change, even in this COVID times. So
Absolutely. But hey, Big Ten football's coming back by the way it's looking. So
Hopefully.
You got that at least.
Oh yeah.
Knock on wood.
So yeah, we'll see. But
now, before we go any further, can I ask Bruce the Shark a question? How did you come up with the Cleveland Browns? Out of all there are 32 teams in the NFL. Why the Cleveland Browns?
Well, I'm from Ohio, so I grew up watching the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I was a big LeBron fan. So then I started watching pro football, and why not stay in Cleveland? But funny thing about it is I was raised in Michigan, so I'm a big Michigan fan when it comes to college football. So it's kind of contradicting there, but I just love to suck. That's all it is. All right?
Looking at his room, you'd never believe he was a Michigan fan.
Never.
I thought it was Ohio State fan for a while.
Never.
Oh shit! Sorry, guys. Sneezing and bad clicking. Sorry. Sneezing and bad clicking. Sorry.
Team with no name.
Oh,
Hey, but they want to know.
shit.
Kind of
Sorry,
like
guys.
Tom Hanks.
Blame the fire.
Battleground matches popping up. But
Blame the fire. Blame the fire. You know, I sneezed in improper clicking. Sorry about that.
Okay.
but I do
But now
before
the
we get
Viking Raiders are no more.
nice. Well, I do want to get into some of our predictions, update you guys on where everybody sits on the rankings. I have a nice little graphic that will pop up, and it will show where everybody's placed at, all that good stuff. Who sucked? Who didn't suck? We'll find out, and then we'll get into some of the news that broke in the past couple days, and then we'll talk about maybe an upset or two we didn't see coming, and we'll predict the upcoming week. So here's the thumbnail. Bam! Look at that. Wonderful. So tied at first is me, Matty G, and Papa West. Fourth is Alec at 8-8, and then Kevin finished last, even though he had an opportunity in private to lie, but he finishes one game behind Alec at 7-9. Me, Matty G, and Papa West are at 10-6. I thought I did worse just looking at some of the games early on. You know, I predicted Miami to win. Miami didn't win. And there was like one other game outside of the obvious that I was like, I got that wrong, so I definitely didn't do well. But hey, there you go.
I had Tampa. I mean, I thought honestly Tom Brady was going to come out look like the superstar he was, and like he did worse in his first game there than he's done in like the last 5 years. Total.
Well, the way I looked at it was, you know, in the past, you know, when he was on the Patriots, they didn't always start off, you know, the greatest. Sometimes they were like 1-1, you know, 0-1, you know, whatever. So I looked at it like that. He's in a new system. Gronk hasn't played in a year, and when he played last, he didn't look the greatest. So I looked at that.
I mean, Gronk was fucking wrestling, so you know he's working out.
Right, but I mean, there was things he wouldn't even do in wrestling that they were asking him to do. So, I mean, he wasn't like 100% like, you know, healthy. I would assume he could do some of the wrestling stuff, but he, you know, there's some things where he's like, I'm not doing that. And I would assume he didn't want to, you know, risk breaking anything. Maybe it was to, you know, come back for football. I don't know. But plus, I mean, they were going up against the Saints. You know, you got Drew Brees. Everybody's pretty much there. You know, it's pretty much the same team, you know, outside of maybe a couple of additions or guys they like. So, you know, the Saints have always been great, at least from when Drew Brees was there. There's been like 1 or 2 years Brees was there that he didn't, you know, they weren't great, but they were still really good. But there's that. So, there's our predictions. Now, let's get into couple of upsets real quick. I'm going to go around the table. I'll start off here as far as like 2 upsets you didn't see coming. And to me, I mean, you could throw in another game if you want, but I think we're all going to kind of agree on this. Was the Eagles and football team, and then the Colts and the Jags. Yeah, did not see those games ending the way they did. I thought blowouts in both, but you know, I guess Jacksonville, like I said it last week, you never know. Jacksonville might be like the Rams where they didn't have a great year the year before. They're not expected to do anything, and they come in and they go to a Super Bowl. I doubt they're going to go to a Super Bowl, but maybe they're better than what we're giving them credit for, and maybe the Jets are actually the worst team in the NFL. But, I mean, and then, you know, Eagles, it was 17-0, and then it seemed like they just couldn't protect Carson Wentz. You know, you had Chase Young getting, was it a sack and a half in that game for his first game?
Yeah,
he looked really
Wentz
good.
got sacked 8 times total.
So I mean, and that's not going to get the job done. I mean, weren't they missing a couple of guys though on the offensive line?
So Andre Dillard, their left tackle, was injured a couple weeks before the season. So Jason Peters was going to be a guard. He moved back over to tackle, and then Lane Johnson was also injured before the season. And hoping he would be back by that he wasn't able to. And then they had another, someone else got hurt in the middle of the game, but I don't remember. And that's just offensive line. Miles Sanders and Alshon Jeffrey.
Oh, yeah. Miles Sanders screwed me in my fantasy.
Did not play.
That.
Yeah. So, So a lot of these guys sitting out too, they
Yeah.
screw me. But I guess I'm gonna assume these are the two biggest upsets for everybody. And if there's another upset that you guys want to discuss real quick, we can discuss that. If not, we can get right into week 2 predictions.
Well, I'm not saying upset. I'm saying the Browns, how they looked against the
Oh, man.
Ravens. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than whatever the 6.
I thought it was going to
Right.
be. I thought it was going to be more of a high-scoring game. Like I thought the Browns are actually going to be able to put points up, but like Baker's just same old Baker, man. It's like I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, I mean, just kind of paying attention to the scores as they're coming up. It looked like it was close for a little while, and then it just, the Ravens exploded, and just were basically the Ravens of last year.
Yeah.
So
And one thing, I don't call it an upset because it's two of these teams, but I want to bring up the fact that the Packers and the Vikings scored almost 80 points total.
Yeah.
Like that was I mean, we all agreed it was going to be a great game, but 43-34. That's a high scoring game for first game of the season. I mean, we all agreed that, Aaron Rodgers was going to come out looking for blood because they basically drafted his replacement. But, I watched this game and it was fantastic. Aaron Rodgers came out, did exactly what Aaron Rodgers does. The Vikings team came out and did what they do. But it was just, for a week 1 game, if you look at the average score for every game, it's maybe 20 points at the most. Average 16-13, some right in there. But 34-43 in the opening game, it's like, geez.
I thought the Vikings defense was going to be much better in that game.
Yeah.
Because Rodgers, they didn't really draft any weapons for him. I mean, they drafted a running back. They did sign a receiver in the offseason, but he opted out. Which I actually wanted him to stay on the Colts, but I guess the year before he broke his collarbone or whatever. So I mean, you never know how he's going to play after an injury like that. But he really has one receiver, and that's about it. So I was like, okay, Vikings, it's going to be close, but I think the defense is going to be good enough to hold them under 20 points or 24 points or something like that. And then the Vikings are about 24-30. But no, 43. So maybe the Vikings defense needs a week or two to get it together because, like I said, there's no preseason. So I guess you never know there.
Right.
But I mean, if there's, actually let's talk about a couple injuries really quick. There's 2 on the top of my head. If you guys can think of another, please let me know. Some injuries that happened. Michael Thomas, he is expected to be out for several weeks, which does hurt the Saints. However, it wasn't like he was getting 100 and something yards in that game and then went down. I think he only had 30 something yards in that game. So, I mean, they have guys to throw to. Obviously, got Hill, but still losing Michael Thomas. It's going to hurt them in certain situations because he's a monster. But there was that injury, and then the other, which breaks my heart, is Marlon Mack. He tore his Achilles, and this was his contract year 2, and he was looking really good in training camp. He was looking really good in that game, and then it wasn't even a contact injury. It was non-contact. He just caught the ball, was running, and then he just fell. And then he walked it off. I was like, okay, he sprained his ankle or something because he walked it off. So he'll be fine. And then they're like, oh, he tore his Achilles. And it's like, wonderful. So,
yeah. Cowboys tight end Blake Jarwin also suffered a non-contact knee injury. MRI confirmed torn ACL. Will miss the remainder of the season.
Damn.
Yep.
And then their Van Der Esch or whatever.
Yeah.
He got hurt too.
Leighton Van Der Esch.
They placed them both on IR.
Yeah, so that hurts them for sure. And then there was one of the Browns tight ends, I think, was put on IR too. Starts with an N.
Hold on.
Njoku?
Yeah. So I saw
Yeah.
he was put on the IR, and then
Who was? Wow. What happened?
I don't know. I just saw he was
They've
placed
said-
on it.
I don't think they've said yet.
Okay. I
Okay.
didn't even see him. I didn't even know he got hurt.
It could be
Yeah, I saw
COVID.
it earlier. Maybe.
Le'Veon Bell got placed on IR.
Yeah,
Hamstring.
that's gonna hurt the Jets even more. And
Yeah.
I mean, they got nothing. I mean, you got Sam Darnold, which looked below
Well,
average.
There's a lot of people out there though right now. I mean, with
Yeah.
the fact that the teams had to go, basically they went straight 52-man teams. There's a lot of players out there floating around, so it wouldn't surprise me if they do some wheeling and dealing and pick somebody up. But let's
Yeah.
get past that. Let's
So
get into you boys.
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right.
So we're gonna start off with the Thursday night game, and then I'll just go off based on what time. So I'll start with the 1 o'clocks after we get through tomorrow's game, and then we'll go to the 4 o'clocks Sunday night, and then Monday night football. So we're gonna start out with the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow. They're heading to Cleveland to take on the Brownies. So I'm gonna start off with Matt here on this one. You got Baker versus Joe Burrow. What are you thinking in this game?
This comes down to one word: experience. So you got to go. In my opinion, you got to go Baker Mayfield. I mean, I'm taking Cleveland. I don't think it's going to be. No offense, boys, but this isn't going to be a great game. Sorry, Bruce. Just keep swimming. But this is not going to be a great game. I hate to say it. I think it may turn into one of these. We're going to run the ball, or we're going to get the ball. We're going to go 3 yards. We're going to kick the ball off. They're going to go 3 plays. They're going to kick the ball off. Somebody's going to randomly score once or twice, and that's going to be the game. But I have Cleveland winning.
Okay. Now we're going to go to Jacob.
I don't understand why y'all are saying this is going to be a horrible game. The Bengals was one of my biggest surprises of the week. I watched a lot of Joe Burrow in college, so I knew he was a really, really good quarterback. I didn't see him doing well, especially against the Chargers. And I mean, he didn't have all pro level stats, but he did have very good stats. He was literally a bad push off by AJ Brown away from winning the game, and then their kicker faked a cramp because as soon as he kicked it, he knew it wasn't going in. What, Matty?
Oh, I just laughed at the fact the way that you did that.
Well, he's holding one leg, and afterwards he was talking about how he had a cramp in his other leg. It's like you're holding your right leg. You say your cramps in your left leg. Which one is it? So I kind of am going the other way. I see the Bengals winning this one. Plus, I mean, I knew that the Browns weren't going to beat the Ravens, but I thought it was going to be closer. I thought they were going to at least do something instead of the dumpster fire that they were. There's something going on in Cleveland that we do not know about, and it's going to become present very soon, I imagine. There's going to be a big rebuild again happening.
There's something in the water, he's saying, boys.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So now we're going to go to Steve the Pirate.
All
Who
right,
do you got in this one?
I got the Browns. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be high scoring, not like Green Bay high scoring. I'm thinking 30 points. I think the Browns are going to do a lot better offensive-wise this week than they did last week. I mean, you can't get any worse. So, but I really think that Mayfield's going to give it to Landry more and Odell more. Probably give it to Hooper more. So, and then I think it's going to be close. Probably going to be like a 3-point game or something. I think Joe Burrow is going to be a beast this year. So, and AJ Green looks pretty healthy right now. So, if he stays healthy, it could be a good year for the Bengals too.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Now we're going to go to Bruce, and then I'll get my prediction last.
Alrighty, so I'm also gonna go with the Browns. Shocker, but this game's actually gonna be kind of close for me. I got it kind of the 20-14-ish range. It's I see the Browns. I see a lot of Chubb, See a lot of Kareem Hunt. I see him run the football a lot in this one. Baker, you know, he better be scared because Case Keenum's licking his chops right now, wanting to come and take that offense over. Because if you can't move the football with all those offensive weapons, there's something wrong with you. So I think Baker would do a lot better this game. I'm hoping, and yeah, I mean Cincinnati. I think Burrow's going to have a good year. He looked good. Mixon, of course, is going to get going. We're going to have to stop him, but it's going to be a close game. I got the Brownies.
Yeah, this is a game where I'm going back and forth on here. I love some of the players the Browns have on offense. Like I do love Chubb. I think he's one of the best in the league. I love Landry. I think good, solid, potential number one receiver, really good number two receiver. Odell, I've never really liked as much at all. Baker, his first year, I was like, okay, I'm liking what I see. He might be the piece. He might be the key to turn this franchise around. And then he was inconsistent the next year, and it doesn't sound like he's doing much better. In this, I like Hooper. I like their head coach a lot. I think he's going to be a very good head coach. And I like the defense. And same with the Bengals. I really like Joe Burrow. I liked what I saw with Joe Burrow. He's not going to give up in a game. I like, Mixon. I think AJ Green's obviously great. You got Boyd in there. So to me, I think it's going to be a really good game. It's going to come down to that last drive. I've been going back and forth, but I think I'm going to have to give it slightly to the Bengals because, like you said, Bruce, Baker's having a hard time getting this offense moving. There's no excuse. Maybe getting all those ads and commercials, maybe that was a mistake.
Oh, big mistake.
Right now, maybe let him, kind of develop more.
Win some games.
Yeah, like
that Hulu.
He
That
looked
Hulu
good
commercial,
this year.
he's not even in the commercial.
No.
It's just his face. It's Baker
like he
Mayfield's face on not Baker Mayfield's body.
It's like he looked good though in his first season. Like I was like, okay, there's promise here. I like what I'm seeing. What he did in the few games he played in, or which was like 6 or 7, it was really good stuff. And then it just kind of went away. So I mean maybe
Sophomore
commercials went to his head. He did have his.
I mean,
He did, but at the same time, maybe it's the Ravens. Maybe it's just that defense, because that defense is really good. But I'm going to give it to the Bengals. I could see this being a high-scoring game. I would honestly say, you got Myles Garrett. He's going to, just dominate in this game against Joe Burrow. He's going to cause a lot of issues. But, if your offense can't move the ball, you're eventually going to get tired, and you're just not going to perform as well as you would if your offense was getting the job done. So I'm going Bengals. This might be like a 34-31 type game because I do like it a lot. Or this could be 34-7. We'll see. You never know.
Well, I mean, the Browns did just lose their kicker.
That is true. That is true.
So we'll have to add that into effect.
Yeah, so you guys definitely got to get a kicker for sure. But now we're going to move on to the next game, which is the Tennessee Titans battling against Jacksonville for the number 1 spot in AFC South. Didn't think I would ever say that, but it's true. Jacksonville and Tennessee will be battling this week for the first spot in the AFC South. So we're going to start with Jacob here. Who do you got in this game?
Words you never thought you would ever hear anybody say. That at week 2, the Jaguars beat the Colts, and are going for first place in the AFC South. Very surprising. And then, of course, the Titans, what they were able to do. It's the first time that franchise has won in Denver since, I think, all time is what they were saying, and that includes the Oilers also.
Yeah.
Could have been a lot better, but hey, we're going to give Gostkowski the benefit of the doubt. It was his first time kicking in almost a year. No preseason. The guy is clutch normally, so that was probably just a fluke. hopefully. I am gonna go. I think Tannehill will pull it out. The same with Derrick Henry. He is just gonna. He always seems to have like one phenomenal run against the Jaguars. I believe it was last year we had that 99-yard run against them, stiff arm, like 2 years ago, if that's right. So yeah, look for the same thing to happen this year. I have the Titans winning that pretty handily.
Okay. I'm going to go to Steve the Pirate.
Yeah, I think the Titans got this, but I mean, I'm not like Titans is good, but I don't really trust their offense. I don't like Tannehill that much. He's okay. They have good receivers in Corey Davis and AJ Brown, and Derrick Henry's a beast. But there's some games where he'll go for like 25 carries for 40 yards, and then there's some games he'll go for 15 carries for 400 yards. So it's all about any given game for him. Seems like he'll do good 2 games, and they'll be in like a 3-game slump. So I mean, but I don't trust the Jaguars at all. So I think the Titans beat them down this week.
All right. Bruce, who do you got in this game?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to follow my fellow counterparts here, and definitely I think the Titans are gonna take this one. I mean, Jacksonville, it was a big surprise them beating the Colts last week, and I think that it's gonna come. The winning streak's gonna come to an end, and the Titans, they're gonna feed Henry a lot. I think Henry's gonna have a big game. And it's going to set up that play action pass, their offense, their bread and butter there. And I think, they're going to roll. I got them like 34-13-ish.
Yeah.
Big.
So, I have the Titans winning this game, but if Minshew can play at 80% of what he played against the Colts, which he only had 1 incompletion against the Colts. He has weapons. Like, I like Chenault. He came from Colorado. I forgot they drafted him. I do like him a lot. He might be one of those rookie receivers that you just don't see coming as far as the talent. They signed an undrafted, free agent, Robinson. Looks really good. Looks real good when he's throwing with the ball. Looks smooth and all that good stuff. I forgot they had Chark. Their big receiver, Pro Bowl. Minshew, I was like, oh, Minshew sucks, but I looked at his stats. Last year he had like 38 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Yeah.
So he's efficient. He doesn't he doesn't force a lot of turnovers. He doesn't get a lot of turnovers. So I mean that caught me off by surprise. So he's an okay quarterback, and he looked good. I'll give him that. And they do have some defensive players. Henderson, rookie cornerback. Really good, played against TY and looked surprisingly really good in this game. They got Jack in there. I think if they win this game, Minshew's going to have to make very little mistakes when throwing the ball. And he might be able to do that. Like I said, Jacksonville might be like the Rams a couple years ago where they came in, didn't have a good year, and then that following year, they go on a Super Bowl run. Didn't win it, but still made it to the Super Bowl. Which, oddly enough, was the same year that they had Bortles in Jacksonville, and they went to the AFC Championship. So, I'm going to give it to Tennessee, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I'm going to go 7, maybe 10 points as far as a victory for Tennessee. But won't be surprised if Jacksonville pulls out the win because it's 2020.
I mean, Minshew could be the new Tom Brady.
It might be.
It could happen.
Late round draft pick.
No one thought he would do anything. Just a person on the depth charts.
Matt G is picking the Jaguars.
Yeah.
So Matt got the Jags.
Jags 49-0.
With Vince Young in my hand, you best suck at that, dude. You can
exactly what Vince Young's doing right now. So,
but no, okay, my turn. Obviously, I'm taking the Titans, being the resident Titans fan. One thing though that nobody brought up is the fact that the Colts were beat up. They were pretty beat up at the beginning of the season. I mean, they lost.
We lost Burton.
It's one game.
But
we lost some guys too, and some guys
they
were
lost
hurt in
some
the
guys during the
offseason.
game, and they lost some guys during the off season. They're already beat up. If you look at Monday night's game, the game should have been a lot higher. The Titans should have scored a lot more points. Yeah. They had 2 field goals messed with, blocked, whatever you want to put. They got hands on the ball. That's something that you can work out in practice. Their kicker, he's still usually clutch. Derrick Henry, in my opinion, they just need to feed him and let him run all over them like he normally does. One thing that if you watch the Colts game, when their running back went down, their backup didn't really put his shoulder down and run through people. Like and that's one thing Derrick Henry can do. He is 6'8". He's almost 400 pounds. The dude is a goddamn brick shit house.
Yeah, and I'll speak on that. Hines was the next guy up. He's small.
Yeah.
I'm just saying a point. He's really small, so I mean,
he's like the passing down back.
Yeah, so he's really good at catching the ball. And Taylor, it was his first game ever.
All right, so I'm gonna jump out real quick. Matt, when you started talking, I just had that like a mother.
Yeah, that's all.
But no, okay, cutting back in. Yeah. But Derrick Henry, though, that's what you got to do. This, especially with this game, just feed him and let him run. He runs north to south beautifully. If you go back and watch it, 99-yard run, touchdown run, he does. He stiff arms like 5 people and just runs over them. God, there's a video I have to send you guys. It's I might have posted it in our private chat. It was happened during the Cowboys game over the weekend. Where he just that guy just stiff arms like 3.
Aaron Donald takes down all 3.
That's all you got to do is just give Derrick Henry the ball and let him do it, because that's their key to winning the game. Keep our defense time to rest, because they play smash mouth football. If you watch Matt, their coach, he kind of runs a similar offense that the Patriots do, where we're just going to come out of nowhere and we're going to play smash mouth football. Yeah, that's what we got to do. So, okay.
All right, we'll go to the next. And it is a game that I think could go either way. It's the Panthers going up against the Bucks. Both teams are 0-1, which I believe most of us predicted it would end up being that way. So I'm going to start off with Steve here. Who do you got in this game?
All right, well, this is going to be another tough one, I think. The Bucks is still trying to figure out things on their offense. I think Tom Brady and Mike Evans are, I don't know, first thing on different pages, you can tell. And then they're still figuring out like running backs. Like Fournette was his first, he was only been there for like 2 weeks. So, trying to get him involved as Ronald Jones getting involved. They have a great defense though. But I think the Panthers with Christian McCaffrey, I think they're just going to get this win. And I think the Buccaneers are just going to keep on trying to figure it out. I think they're going to do good this year, but I think they're still going to try to figure their offense out. And I think the Panthers is going to get this W. Close, though. Very close.
Okay. Now we're going to go to Bruce here.
Yeah, I agree with Steve. I think it's going to be very, very close. But on the winner, I honestly think Tampa Bay is going to squeak this one out. It's going to be very close, like a field goal game. Towards the end, they might end up getting that win. But, Tampa Bay, they're still trying to figure stuff out. They're still, after this game, there's still going to be some question marks. But I think they get the win. Carolina, they got a new quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater. Christian McCaffrey, he's always a beast. You always rely on him, dump it off. But I think it's going to be one of those back-and-forth type of games. The winner at the end, I think Tampa Bay is going to squeak it out.
Okay. Yeah, this is a game I'm going back and forth on as we speak even, because you got 2 guys at quarterback coming in. This is their first year in, their teams. You got Matt Rule, first-time coach, going up against Bruce Arians, who has been in NFL for a while. Well, I'm going back and forth on here, and I think I'm going to give it to Tampa Bay because I think it's going to be a game of who can coach better or who has the best game coaching. Because I think all of them are still figuring it out. You know, there's the off season's different than any other year, so really this was probably the worst time for a new guy to go to another team unless the offenses are pretty much the same as what they ran in the past. But really, with Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, I guess he might have ran this offense in Minnesota, maybe. They do have C-Mac, which I love. He's going to get his numbers. He's going to get you a touchdown or two. But I just think Bruce Arians is going to come in. He's going to outcoach Matt Rule, and that's going to be the difference. So I'm going to give it to Tampa. So now we're going to go to Matty. Who do you got in this one?
Okay. I'm an Arizona guy. Most people know that too. Bruce Arians took the Cardinals that were okay at best. Did some wheeling and dealing. Got Carson Palmer, Larry Fitzgerald, Anquan Bolden at the time, and all these players, and took them damn near to the Super Bowl. Actually, took them to the Super Bowl. They may have lost, but they got there. Before that, he worked under, let's see, who did he work under? Bill Belichick. And he runs a similar offense to Bill Belichick. Yes, Tom Brady may have had his fuck ups, but I think that it just showed Bruce Arians what he needed to work on, and he's going to sit down, Tom, and he's going to go, look, you're still the GOAT, but this is my house. We're going to run it this way. And by the end of the game, Tampa's going to win.
Yeah.
Because just like you said, Bruce Arians is going to out-coach.
Yeah. Now, I do heavily recommend you guys check out the Undisputed clip where Skip Bayless is freaking out on Bruce Arians because Bruce Arians was criticizing Tom Brady and the way he was performing. He's like, who says you have the right to criticize Brady? It's fun. It's good. I recommend everybody check that out. It's a lot of fun. So we're going to go to Jacob here. Who do you got in this one?
I'm going to answer your question by asking you a question. It is 4th and inches. You have one of the best running backs. You have one of the greatest athletes in the NFL as your running back. You're down by 4 points. What do you do? If you said, hand it to your fullback to try to get him to get that yard, you might be a bad coach. No, Matt Rule, I hated you in Baylor because I'm a TCU fan. I didn't hate the play call, but at the same point, when the game's on the line, you have to give it to your playmaker, and he didn't do that. Same exact thing's going to bite him in the butt against the GOAT. It's going to be a pretty back and forth game. The Panthers are gonna have a chance to win it. And just blow it. They will. They will. Matt, I didn't talk during your turn, so I'd appreciate if you didn't talk during my turn. Thank you.
I can fuck off, buddy.
And again, I believe it was Steve who was saying it. Leonard Fournette did not look good against the Saints. First off, it was against the Saints. Second off, he's been on the team for 8 days, if that. And the whole team did not play great. They were playing a great defense, which Carolina does not have. I do think it's going to be closer than like what we're thinking. Definitely see like a 1 possession, 10-point game, something like that. But it's just going to come down to the end. Matt Rule is going to do something that's gonna not be a smart idea.
Alrighty. So now we're gonna go to the next game, which could be a really good game. It's the Denver Broncos as they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Obviously, Big Ben came back, played his first game this past Monday, and got the W. He's going up against the Broncos, who played this past Monday and lost. So we're going to start with Bruce here. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, this is going to be a really close game. I think both have really good defenses. It's a home game for Pittsburgh. Big Ben looked really good in his first game back, and he got something to prove this year. That Pittsburgh defense, though, I really like their defense. I think that the question mark with James Conner, he's probably not going to play. Benny Snell looked good. But yeah, I'm going to take Pittsburgh just because I think they're at home. I think their defense is really good. I think Snell, he can, take Connor's carries, and I think that you'll see Juju Smith-Schuster ball out in this game, and Drew Lock's going to have a couple turnovers. So I got Pittsburgh in this game, but it's close.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game, too. I could see any of these teams winning, but just right now, I'm going to give it to Pittsburgh. Big Ben, he looks maybe not the greatest that he's ever been, but he looks pretty close to it. Obviously, he's towards the end of his career more than likely because he's, 36, 37? So obviously he's probably going to have like 2 to 3 more really good years, and then he'll start going downhill. Obviously you have Juju on there as a really good number 1 receiver. And then you have this kid from Notre Dame, Chase Claypool.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping the Colts would have took him instead of Pittman, in all honesty, because this kid's big body receiver, and he's really good, and he had a great first catch in that game. This could potentially be a AB Juju type situation, except for Juju's not going to act like a clown and force himself out of Pittsburgh. I think that could be a deadly receiving duo right there. And Pittsburgh got a great defense. I like the defense in Denver a lot too. I love Drew Lock. They were missing Sutton when they played yesterday. They didn't have everybody in there, so you never know. That might have affected their offense, and maybe when they get him back, they'll just dominate and take over the NFL. But looking at it right now, I'm going experience. I'm going based on who's the better quarterback, and I'm going to have to give it to Pittsburgh in this game. So now we'll go to Matt. Who do you got in this game?
I'm just going to echo what you and Bruce both said. I'm going to take Pittsburgh, and we'll just move on to Jacob because you guys have basically said everything I was going to say.
All right. So now we're going to go to Jacob.
Matt, thank you for mentioning Chase Claypool because I was going to mention him, except I can never remember his first name, and I was going to call him Clayton. Wrong name. I would have looked like an idiot. Thank you for keeping me from looking like an idiot. I was very surprised at how well he did. I watched him a little bit. He was on my fantasy team in college with Notre Dame, so I watched a little bit. Did really enjoy watching him. And when the Steelers picked him up, I'm like, that's a pretty good pickup. And yeah, that first catch where he toe lined the sideline, like that was beautiful. Biggest question marks. Is Connor gonna play? The Steelers' offensive line is also pretty dinged up. One person we didn't talk about, Zach Banner, who I believe is out for the season, or at least put on IR. And then Steven Wisniewski, he got hurt in the middle of the game. But then also with the Broncos, Cortland Sutton, is he going to play, or is Philip Lindsay going to come back? I do have the Steelers winning it, though. Again, just Drew Lock made some really bad mistakes against the Titans and was very fortunate that they didn't capitalize on it. But if you look at the defense that the Steelers have, they're going to capitalize on it.
All right. So now we'll go to Steve the Pirate. Who do you got in this one?
All right, I'm the odd man out. I got the Broncos, and the reason is I think their D-line is really good. They have a good defensive line. I'm really surprised how well their defensive played against the Titans, to be honest, with Von Miller being hurt. But they look really good against the Titans. if Courtland Sutton plays, I think that's a crucial part of their offense. He is so
Yeah.
big, so talented, and it can get people away from Jerry Jeudy, which I think he's going to be a factor in this game too. I think it all comes down to like that. I think Sutton, if he plays, is going to be. I think they're just going to win. I think Drew Lock he looked good on yesterday, but he did make a lot of mistakes. But I think that with Sutton being in there, I think it's going to be a different offense entirely. So I have the Broncos winning this one.
Okay.
Hey Matt, can I
Yeah.
mention one more thing
Yeah.
before we move on?
Yeah.
I just want to kind of echo what Jacob said about the injuries. Denver also lost AJ Bouye, one of their top corners, and they're saying he dislocated his shoulder. They're saying he might not play.
Yeah.
So that could be big.
True,
going up
especially on a
against
short week.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
They'll have two rookies going in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, now that is true, and that's gonna hurt them for sure if he is
Sticking
out.
with Denver though.
Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna go on to the LA Rams as they travel to Philadelphia. They're taking on the Eagles. Eagles are looking for their first win, and the Rams are looking to start out 2-0. And for me, just like with a couple other teams, I think the Eagles, they should have won week 1 for sure. They definitely should have won. However, this was a weird season. Off season wasn't the same as normal. Didn't have preseason, everything like that. So that could have had a factor into it. The offensive line definitely is going to hurt if they're going to continue to get Carson Wentz hurt for a while. And if he's out, let's say for a game or whatever, they're going to have Jalen Hurts play. And I don't know how well Jalen Hurts has played in the offseason. I don't know how good he's looked. Maybe he looked great. Maybe he looked okay. I have no idea. But I'm going to give this to the Eagles still. I do like the Rams a lot. But actually, I'm going to scratch that. I'm sorry. I got to go Rams. And I'll tell you why. I got the Rams this one. Aaron Donald. That offensive line, if they're allowing 8 sacks on Carson Wentz, just imagine what Aaron Donald's going to do. Plus, I like what the Rams have offensively. I think Jared Goff is an underrated quarterback. Not top 5 in the league and not top 10, but I like him. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's good enough to take a team to the playoffs if you have a good defense, which the Rams have. So I'm going to give it to the Rams mostly because of that defense and the pressure they're going to bring to Carson Wentz. I just cannot see them stopping, Aaron Donald. Plus, you have Jalen Ramsey out there who's still one of the best corners in the league. So I'm going with the Rams. So now we're going to go to Matt. Who do you got?
I also have LA winning this because of exactly what you said. That defensive line got into Dak's face. They got him uncomfortable. Yes, Zeke ran away. He did his thing. He puts his foot in the ground and ran. But that defense, the corners, just like you were talking about, their corners are just, if they can keep going, they're good. Jared Goff's a good quarterback. I agree. Maybe not top 10, but he's close. And he's not afraid to put his foot in the ground and run. He'll slide if he needs to, but he's not afraid to take the hit. And sorry, Jacob, if that defensive line can push through like they did on Carson Wentz. You brought up the fact that he got sacked 8 times in that last game. They could easily go 12-13 if they don't button it up. So I think LA is just going to kind of run through them. Sorry, Papa.
Yeah.
Hope we can still be friends.
Watch the offensive line in Philadelphia is just perfectly healthy this week. and then they're gonna like pancake Aaron Donald, or
And then
yeah,
I'm
Aaron
like
Donald,
shit. And then I'm gonna feel like shit.
right? But we'll go to Jacob next. Who do you got in this one?
This is classic. My mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yes. Exactly. So this is the third straight year that Philadelphia is playing Los Angeles, and Philadelphia has had their number both times before, which is something that's not mentioned a lot.
Is there a butt coming up?
I wish. But I mean, when you have Aaron Donald, one of the better defensive linemen out there, Jalen Ramsey, a great cornerback. That is a good, solid defense. But
There's a butt.
Lane Johnson should be healthy to play this week.
Okay.
Miles Sanders should be healthy to play this week. But I don't know if they're healthy or not.
God, there's a lot of starting.
Yes.
I just want to point out that he started out this conversation lumping grind, and he has said "but" like 4 times. I think Jacob is trying to subliminally tell us something.
I'm a Buckeye. What can I say? This is a classic game of why I love that Wyoming does not have legal sports gambling, because I would bet all my money on Philadelphia because I bet with my heart and you're not supposed to, and LA comes out and destroys them.
So make up your damn mind.
Shut up, Matty. Shut up. It'd be a lot quicker if you weren't interrupting me.
No,
It's in Philadelphia, which, yes, you're not going to have the crowd of Lincoln Financial Field there, but you're going to have the weather of Philadelphia. Morning game, so it shouldn't be too terribly cold, but definitely colder than what the Rams are used to. Expect Philadelphia to surprise the world and bounce back from that horrible 27-17 loss to the Washington football team.
Alrighty. There we go. Now we're going to go to Steve. Who do you got in this one?
Hey, I love the confidence, man. I love the confidence. I think if Miles Sanders is healthy, that the offense is going to be different. I think he's one of the better running back in Philadelphia, and but they have no receivers. It seems like they have like nobody in the receiving core besides. I mean, they got the rookie. What's his name? Jalen Reagor.
Jalen Reagor.
Jalen Reagor.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Jackson. He's quick, but he's injury prone. And of course, you got Zach Ertz. But I just think that the Rams, man. I just think their defense is just gonna like everyone said. The D line is gonna do good against them if they allowed 8 sacks last week. Let's see what the Rams does. So, yep, I did the Rams.
Alrighty. Then we'll go to Bruce, and then we'll move on to our next game.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks with the Eagles. Is their line gonna be healthy? I don't think so. Miles Sanders, he's questionable. If he plays,
he's playing.
We'll see, Steve. I know he's on your fantasy team, but yeah, if he plays, it could be a difference maker. I see a lot of quick passes for Carson Wentz in that offense, trying to get that defensive line on their heels and try not to get Carson Wentz hurt, put him in bad situations, maybe roll him out some more away from Aaron Donald because he's going to be getting through that line. But yeah, the Rams, man, I like Jared Goff. Malcolm Brown looked good. You'll see a lot more Cam Akers, I think, in this one, just to get him going a little bit.
I hope so.
Robert Woods.
I'd hope so.
I really like Robert Woods. Cooper Kupp, he didn't really do much last game. You're going to see a lot more of him. I mean, him and Jared Goff have a great connection. And that defense, man, I mean, I think it could be bad if the line's not healthy, and we'll see. But I got the Rams.
Yeah, I need Akers to do better because he's on my fantasy team. So that'd be nice. He's gonna do well, they said. All right.
Something point of order. Papa said the weather Sunday in Philly at 1 p.m., which is about kickoff, is going to be 65 degrees and sunny. So it's not going to be that cold.
65 is pretty cold.
In LA right now, it's around 75, so it's not too terrible. Just pointing that out there.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next game. This is gonna be a blowout.
Knock that shit down.
It's gonna be an absolute blowout. Let's just get into it real quick. The 49ers are playing the Jets. Matt, who you got?
Really? I can't believe I'm gonna have to ask that question. San Francisco by 10,000 points.
All right, now we're gonna go to Papa. Who do you got in this one?
It's not gonna be 10,000 points, but it's gonna be a lot. The Jets are gonna have a okay showing. They'll get some points on there, but nowhere near what they need to do to get half as many as the 49ers. 49ers blow them out.
Okay. Now we're gonna go to Steve.
Man, no love for the Jets, man. Yeah, me either. I got the Niners winning, but it's going to be by a lot. But like their offense ain't really set for high scoring. They're very like run heavy. Time possession. I think it'll be like 28 to like 6 or something. So.
All right. Now we're gonna go to Bruce.
Yeah, to echo everybody else, I'm going to take the 49ers. But yeah, like you said, it may not be that high scoring. George Kittle, they're saying he's probably not going to play. You already got freaking what's the receiver that's on IR right now? Deebo Samuel. So he's on IR. And
I do want to say something real quick. The 49ers did just sign Mohamed Sanu.
Did they?
Mohamed Sanu. Wow. Did not know that, but I see this
earlier today.
They're gonna run the ball a lot, and yeah, man, I got San Francisco. Maybe if Le'Veon Bell didn't get put on IR, they might lose by 20. But I see them having a field goal through most of this game, maybe getting a touchdown late. But the San Francisco 49ers are probably gonna put up like 38 points on them. So
yeah, So I'll say this. I like Crowder on the Jets. He put up a good showing. Darnold, until he made that 69-yard touchdown pass to Crowder, had a grand total of, I believe, 9 yards. So that was cool.
Oh, boy.
They're not going to have Bell in this game at all. I understand the 49ers aren't going to have Kittle. Debo's not playing. But the 49ers are going to win. It's not going to be close. It's not going to be by, like, 10,000 or anything like that. But I kind of agree with Bruce. I can see it being like 38, and then maybe the Jets get like 10, 17, kind of like they did on Buffalo last week. But this shouldn't be a close game. And if it's closer than it looks, it's because the game ended a long time ago, and 49ers just didn't care at that point. So now we're going to go to the Buffalo Bills as they go to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Divisional game. Miami's looking for their first win. Buffalo wants to get that second win so they can be 2-0. And hopefully the Patriots lose so they can have the number 1 spot. So we're going to go to Papa on this one. Who do you got in this one, Jacob?
I love me some Josh Allen. He tore up the Jets last week. The Dolphins do have a better defense, but not a much better defense. And then Stephon Diggs did surprise me. He didn't have a great game. 8 receptions, 86 yards. Was a lot more than I expected him to get. I do see the Bills beating the Dolphins.
Right. Okay. Now we're going to go to Steve on this one. Who do you got?
Oh, yeah, let me just say the Bills. I don't think the Dolphins' offense is iffy. I do like Matt Breida. If they give him the ball more, I think that offense can do pretty good. Jordan Howard, Of course, he's a big back. He can do something, but I got the Bills winning this one. Josh Allen, he's going to be doing good this year, improving. So yeah, I got the Bills.
Okay. Now we're gonna go to Bruce. Who do you got?
Yeah, man, the Bills. I really like Josh Allen as well. I mean, he had like 16 rushing attempts last game. I mean, man, the dude went off, and yeah, man, Devin Singletary, and I think you'll see more of the rookie. They just picked him up on my Zach Moss, just picked him up on my fantasy. So yeah, you'll see a little bit more of him, and yeah, Miami. Preston Williams, Devontae Parker, both questionable. I mean, that's both their top receivers, so it's like I don't know who they're going to throw to.
True.
So, and I really like John Brown and Stephon Diggs. That receiving duo for the Bills is ridiculous. So I think the Bills are going to take this game. I can see it being like a 17-point margin too. So I think the Bills are going to run away with this.
Okay. So Miami really disappointed me last week. I thought the defense, for as long as they could, held up pretty well on New England. You didn't get a lot of passing. Like, there was no passing touchdowns for a while. It was Cam Newton, when he scored, it was rushing, which, I mean, it's going to be tough to stop him when he's actually running. Seems like he's healthy, so that's always going to be good. But Ryan Fitzpatrick really disappointed me in this game. I thought he would have done a little better because the Dolphins did look good towards the end of the year. They looked like, okay, there's some promise here. But he threw like 3 interceptions. So that really hurt. Plus, Parker being out stinks for them if he's out. So that will definitely hurt them because they lost like 2 receivers before the season started because they opted out. And I know New England has, New England had 8 defensive guys out or 6 defensive guys out, some very important guys. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick still threw 3 interceptions. That would have been the game that the Dolphins should have won. They should have won that game. But Ryan Fitzpatrick played like a lot of people thought he would have, a year or 2 ago. But Buffalo's defense is better. So that's going to hurt them. So I got Buffalo winning this pretty easily. I love Josh Allen. I do think you're going to get Diggs involved more. I think he's going to have a bigger game for sure. But yeah, I got Miami losing this game. And I'll be honest, I think Tua's going to be starting sooner rather than later. So especially if Fitzpatrick is going to continue to do what he's doing right now. So there's that. Now we're going to go to Matty, and then we'll move on to the next game.
I want to reiterate something everybody said. Josh Allen could very easily be a top 10 quarterback very, very soon. I love me some Josh Allen. He didn't really have a rookie slump. His sophomore slump didn't really happen. I mean, he had some bad time, but they just gotten weapons around him. They took this offseason and really built a team around him. So I think this can be a blowout, probably the biggest blowout of this week, maybe close. Because, we were talking San Francisco could have the biggest blowout. I think this could be one, too, because Ryan Fitzpatrick, if he's hot, he's lukewarm, and if he's cold, he's frozen. There's no middle ground.
So I think we all agree Bills are going to win this game. Now let's move on to the next game. It is the Minnesota Vikings as they travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Both are looking to get their first wins of the year. Both defenses didn't look quite as good as what we thought. But like I said, things might change because of COVID. You'll start to see teams get better. So we're going to go to Papa on this one first. Who do you got in this one? Wait,
so
we'll start with Papa on this one.
No, it's Steve's turn.
You know what? I said his name. We're going to start with Papa on this one.
And then it's your show. It's your show. You do what you want. Yes, the Vikings defense did not look as good as we thought they would. They played Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks playing right now. and Devontae Adams, one of the best receivers playing right now. Aaron Jones, another top 10 running back. Weird how that works out sometimes. Whereas the Colts, you have Phillip Rivers, one of the most underrated quarterbacks. And then T.Y. Hilton, but he's not a huge threat, especially because he's by himself for the most part. I think the Vikings will win this one.
Okay. So now we'll go to Steve on this one. Who do you got?
I am the opposite. I have the Colts winning this one. I think Colts can be a dark horse this year. I
Yeah.
like Phillip Rivers, and I like Ty. I like Paris Campbell, and I like Jonathan Taylor. Now that Max hurt, I think JT is going to do really good every game. Every time he gets the ball, I think he's going to do good. And yeah, I don't like Kirk Cousins. Don't like him, and I think they're like the Niners where they run the ball a lot with Dalvin Cook. So I think if you stop Dalvin Cook, you'll stop their offense, and I think the Colts can do that.
Okay. Now we're going to go to Bruce.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really close game. I'm kind of like Steve said. I like Paris Campbell. If they can get him going a little bit more, I mean, it seemed like the connection with Phillip Rivers and T.Y. Hilton was a little off. But if they can get Paris Campbell going, I mean, I think he's really big for their offense. It sucks that they lost Marlon Mack, but like Steve said, JT, it's going to get him a couple games going, get him involved more in the pass game. I know they got Hines, but JT did really well in college in the pass game as well. So I think he could be a 3-down back for you guys for the Colts. And I'm going to take the Colts close. I agree. If you stop Dalvin Cook, you stop that offense. And I'm not a big Kirk Cousins fan as well. Minnesota's defense is really good. This is going to be a close game, but the Colts are going to find a way to win.
Okay. So, Minnesota, obviously they played Aaron Rodgers last week, like Jacob said, great quarterback. We all knew he was going to come in this season pissed. But he was able to get 43 points on that defense, which, that's really good for, it's really good for an offense to get 43 points. For the Colts, they did lose to Jacksonville. They went away from what their foundation is, which is running the ball. Phillip Rivers coming in, I don't think expected to throw 49 times, but he threw for he was 85%. As far as his passes, he completed 85% of them. Could have been higher. Ty did drop too, but he still had 85% of his passes completed. And out of 49, that's really good. I don't care what defense you go up against. That's really, really good. If you're Drew Brees, okay, you can do that, but not a lot of people can do that. The coaching was pretty bad last week. There were some play calls that just weren't great on the Colts end. Matt getting hurt really did hurt them, I believe. But Jonathan Taylor coming into the season, he averaged about 2,000 yards a year, or he was close to averaging about 2,000 yards rushing a year in Wisconsin. He's number 6 on the all-time rushing list in college football. He's big, he's strong, and he can run a 4.3 40-yard dash. You got Paris Campbell, slot receiver. Phillip Rivers loves the slot receivers. Really fast receiver. Looked really good in that game. I want them to get Pittman involved more on the passing game. You got your big receiver for Phillip. Use him. So if the coaching decisions are going to be better in this game, I'm going to go with the Colts. Run the ball. That's your foundation. That's what your offensive line is built for. They have the best offensive line in the league. If not, it's either them or Philadelphia when they're healthy. But Colts have the best offensive line in the league, I believe. They're all young besides Costanzo. You have that offensive line. If they run the ball, they should get the win. Hines is really good when catching the ball. He's super fast too. Just don't throw it 49 times and you'll win this game. So I'm going to go Colts. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game. You got Dalvin Cook in Minnesota. I think he's going to do, really good. But the defense has to show up too. So if they can do that, then I think the Colts can win this game comfortably. But I'm going to say 4 to 7 point win for the Colts. And then we're going to go to Matt on this one. Who do you got, Matt?
Matt, you brought up something that I really want to touch on. Uh, Indianapolis is a run team, and when Mac went down, their game went to shit. They had the plan. We're going to go with Mac. We're going to go with Mac. They basically wanted to pull the Tennessee route. We're going to run the ball, and when we need to, we're going to throw it occasionally. Mac's out for the rest of the season. That Achilles is done. They haven't really picked up anybody to cover that position, so they have to go back. Well, they have to go back to the drawing board. They have to we were aiming for this, but unfortunately, this isn't going to work. We have to go back to the drawing board and let's reset. Minnesota came out and put 34 points up on the Packers. That right there in itself is something you got to take into account. Yes, their offense had 43 points put on them, but like we said, Aaron Rodgers. You could make an argument for him being, a top 3 or 4 quarterback, especially now. He's pissed. Like he's good to go. I'm going to pick Minnesota, but if the Colts come out and go back to their ways and figure out, okay, this isn't going to work, so let's manipulate it because, like you said, Phillip Rivers loves a big slot receiver. He likes him to cut inside, grab the ball, and cut outward. If they can figure that out, he's good to go. They'll be golden. But I think it's too soon for that to work, so I'm going to go Minnesota. They're going to make up for losing last week.
Right. Now, I will say, I think they're going to run the ball a lot. You got Jonathan Taylor there, big body running back, and they ran it with him 8 or 9 times. Still got about 40-something yards. Or he was just under 40 at like 39 or whatever. But he still got some yards. And on the receiving, he had like 90-something yards. So if they use him on the screen, then passing-wise will be good with him. But I do think they're going to get back to the run game. Coaching is going to be key in this game for the Colts. If they run it, they're going to win. If they pass it, might be a different story. So there is that. And now we're going to go to a game involving the team we were just talking about. We got the Lions as they travel to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Packers want to go 2-0, and the Lions want to get their first win. So we're going to start with Steve on this one. Who do you got in this game?
All right, so I have the Lions, and here's why. I think Matt Stafford plays great against Green Bay. Every year he plays fantastic against them. And if Kenny Galladay comes back and he's healthy, he's going to be involved, and I think AP in that offense, him almost having 100 yards last week. They're going to be running him a lot more. So I think it's going to be high scoring, just like Minnesota and Green Bay last week. It's going to be a high scoring game. I think the Lions are going to win by a field goal.
Okay. Now we're going to go to Bruce. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to take the Lions. I think that them losing how they did last week is really going to stick with them, and they really want to pump it up. So I think that the Lions are going to take this one. Matt Stafford always plays great at Green Bay, and Kenny Galladay is on track to play, like Steve said. So you could tell that he really missed Kenny Galladay. That was his main target. So I think AP, where did he come from? Everyone was talking about the other 2 running backs they got, Swift, this rookie coming in, Kerryon Johnson. But now AP comes in, gets over 100 yards. He looks like the bell cow, and he looks like he hasn't missed a step. So I think it's going to be high scoring, and Detroit ekes this one out by a field goal, maybe 7 points.
Yeah, I do think Detroit was missing Galladay for sure on the receiving end. He definitely would have helped. So I do think this is going to be one of the games where Detroit's going to be up early. I think the defenses are almost going to be non-existent for quite a bit of it. And I think we're going to get, in midway through the third quarter, fourth quarter, and the Lions are going to be up by 14 points in this game. However, the Packers will come back and win because the Lions will blow a lead like they always do. So I got the Packers winning this game. It's going to come down to the final drive, whether it's Detroit driving down the field or it's the Packers driving down to either win or, kind of just secure the win. Maybe they're up already and they just want to add more points to just secure it. So I got Packers in this one. Now we're going to go to Matty. Who do you got in this one?
Y'all are fucking nuts. Aaron Rodgers is pissed off, and he is going to continue just shoving the ball down people's throats. They're playing in Lambeau. Now, yes, I know no fans, but still. Green Bay is playing in Lambeau. So y'all are fucking nuts. By the way, Matt, you might as well just next week when we do our draft picks, you might as well just get one of Steve or Bruce's picks and just give it to both of them because they've really picked the same way every time. But
here we go.
But I do like Matt Stafford. I hate to say it, the other half of my side of the Caleb's family is basically a Lions fan, so I grew up watching the Lions with them. But my aunt and uncle, still, Aaron Rodgers pissed off, run the ball. He's going to shove it down their throat, and he's going to come out and do exactly what he did in Minnesota again.
Yeah. Now we'll go to Jacob, and then we'll move on to the next game. Who you got in this one?
Steve, Bruce, and Matt, quick question. What are y'all smoking? Second question, can I have some? You're right, Stafford does always play good in Lambeau, but he feeds off of the booze. He feeds off of that crowd. He's not going to have that on Sunday. Here's another. Yes, here's something else. Two of your cornerbacks are out. Are injured, will probably play, not 100%, Desmond Trufant and Jeff Okudah, both dealing with hamstring issues. And what are the Packers really good at? Throwing the ball, exploiting bad cornerbacks. And
they'll be
Matt,
fine. They'll be fine. Don't worry.
You made the comment about the defense is not showing up. Green Bay, that's their dark horse. They have a very solid defense. I feel that's when the game against Minnesota really turned around. Right after Minnesota stopped them on the 1 yard line, very next play, Minnesota gets a safety. And they had that, I believe it was a corner, came in on the sack, untouched. Yep. That's when the game started shifting a lot more towards Green Bay's side. They have a very good defense, and so I definitely see a shootout like you are talking, but it's like Detroit's going to have two drives and then get stopped. Mm-hmm. A drive gets stopped, whereas Green Bay is not going to get stopped. So it's going to be high scoring, but just because the Lions are playing against a Packers defense at the very end that doesn't care if they score because they're already up by 3 touchdowns and can give up another touchdown. It's okay.
Now, I do want to say when I said that the defenses were going to show up, I was joking because that was going to build to the whole Detroit will have a lead and blow it in the fourth quarter. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the Packers defense will show up. Even though I think the Lions will score like in 20s, that was all for the joke that the Lions will blow the lead.
Yeah,
but
I just want to put it, Matt's just trying to cover his ass. Jacob, we called him out on it. That's
you guys are downgrading how well Matt Stafford plays against Green Bay. He's the man against Green Bay.
But Jacob brought up an excellent point, though. It is going to be an empty stadium. So
no matter.
Oh, absolutely it does.
You'll still get the booze from the freaking radio. The radio will spin some boots down.
Actually, you know that the fans do not hear that. That is being pumped in through the broadcast system.
No.
Wrestling's been doing it this whole COVID era.
They have
They're
like
pumping in
70 decibels,
Yeah.
but it's hardly anything.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Something.
Stafford could go off because Stafford has
Yeah.
so much potential and is a
When I had
phenomenal
to-
quarterback.
Okay, something I want to talk about real quick. You talked about that. I had to drive a couple hours to go get Caleb Sunday afternoon. So I listened to the Cardinals game somewhat on the radio. You could actually, in the broadcast booth, hear them call the actual players on the field in the broadcast booth on the radio. So that noise doesn't do jack shit. You could actually clearly hear them. That's why in a couple of games last week they tried to do the hard count. Aaron Rodgers did it a couple of times, and you could hear it. Like, you can hear it. He openly admitted that he actually had to change his wording because the team was hearing it. So yeah, I don't.
That's why it seemed like every defense was jumping off sides too.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was like
That's
four.
my point. No, like everything that like home field advantage. There isn't oh God, what is his name? Wolfley. Fuck, what is it? Ron Wolfley played for the Cardinals for a few years. He is the big voice of the Cardinals here. He said that basically he was talking to a couple of coaches around the league, and they said there's no home field advantage now. It is basically you may be going to somebody's house, but there's nothing there. So you can't really go, well, he's going to be feeding off of it. No, there's nothing to feed off of. So let's keep going, Matty.
Yeah. So now let's move on to the next one. And it is the Atlanta Falcons as they go to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Both are looking to get their first win. We're going to start with Bruce here. Who do you have winning this game?
Yeah, it's a home game for Dallas. They were really upset they didn't get that last win. I really can't trust, Matt Ryan. He's up, he's down. They have a really good offense. Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones. I thought Todd Gurley looked really good his first game there as a running back. But, Dallas, Zeke, that O-line, I think they got really good weapons at receiver. I don't like Dak Prescott, though. For some reason, I've never really been a Dak Prescott fan, but I think Dallas's defense added some weapons. They have a good defense. It's a home game for them. It's going to be close. Atlanta's going to stick in it, but Dallas is going to come away with the win.
Yeah. So there's 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and my hatred to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't like Dallas. I can't stand them at all. But I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm going to give the win to Dallas. I just feel like their offense is a bit too much because I do think Dak is a good quarterback. He's not worth $40 million a year, but he is a good quarterback. Zeke is a really good running back, top 5, maybe top 3. He looked like he was starting to get back to what he looked like his first year and what we thought he could have been. They got weapons. Obviously, you have CD Lamb coming in, the rookie who made a couple of plays for them. You have Gallup, Michael Gallup. You have Cooper as well. So he's got guys to throw to. Defense, I don't think is great, but I think it's about top 15. I would say top 15, top 17 defense. They did lose Byron Jones to Miami, but I would still say they're top 15, 17. They might even sneak into that top 12 defenses in the league. I like what Atlanta has. I do like Gurley. I think that was a nice addition. He looked good in his first game. Matt Ryan's a good quarterback, I think. Underrated quarterback. Not a lot of people talk about him, but I think he's a good quarterback. Not top 10 by any means, but he can make the plays if he needs to. And you got Julio Jones there as well. But I got to give it to Dallas. I think Dallas is going to win. They're upset about last week, and I think they're going to we're going to make up for it. So I do have Dallas in this one. So now we're going to go to Matt. Who do you have in this one?
I'm gonna go back to something I've said many times this time. Zeke puts his foot in the ground and runs through people. He is not afraid to run through people. Dak, I don't mind him as a quarterback. Agreed. I don't think he's worth $40 million a year. Personally, I would personally give that to Kyler Murray. If we're gonna talk youngsters, Josh Allen, not Dak Prescott. He kind of he gets nervous in heavy pressured systems. I'm trying to figure out how to pick my words very carefully. I am picking the Cowboys to win, just because Matt Ryan, he's really good when he's on fire, but sometimes the pressure gets to him. Just like last weekend, I think the pressure is going to get to him. Dallas is hungry. In my house, I have to say I officially hate Dallas because that's been my mom's team for as long as I can remember. And anytime I walk past our apartment, I have to look up and see her ceramic metal Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl champions like plaque. I'll take a picture and show you guys. It's actually pretty cool, but it says the Dallas Cowboys, so I kind of have to throw up on it. But in realistic, looking at the two teams, I just think Dallas is a better team overall than Atlanta.
Oh, sorry, Kevin. Really nice. Must be a really nice plaque from 1849. So now we're gonna go to Jacob. Who do you got in this one?
Again, sorry, Kevin.
1849, the last time that the Cowboys were decent. So Matt, I'm going to copy something you said. There are three certainties in life: death, taxes, and the Cowboys getting screwed on a bad call. Michael Gallup, that was not pass interference, but
they should have challenged that. I can't believe
okay. It was after the 2-minute warning. They couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So they did repeal. They did repeal pass interference is not challengeable anymore.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that was stupid that he even let it happen the 1 year.
Well,
yeah,
I
one
think,
season.
If it's the Saints for that.
If it's blatant, I don't mind it because there's been
they never change it.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, I think they should be able to go back and look at it because that's a big call. If you hit, pass interference, they could, if they wanted to, they could get into unnecessary roughness, and then they could, people could get ejected. So I think if it's over pushed, then it should be looked at. But okay, sorry, I take that back. Continue.
That is a different discussion for a different day. But something that is not talked about like it should be, Matt Ryan against the Seattle defense. Jamal Adams, newly added to it, had 450 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Damn!
Like, he had a great game against them. And yes, they lost to the Seahawks, one of the best teams in the league right now. They do have a good offense. And Matt, I love how you said that the Cowboys have like the top 15, top 16 defense. Good. Their defense is better than half of the other teams. But they did lose Leighton Vander Esch. That is a big blow to their defense. Big run stopper. Very good linebacker that they lost for the remainder of the season. So I see the Falcons coming away with this one.
Okay. I would love that. So now we're going to go to Steve, and then we'll go to the next game. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I think that the Falcons can do good. I mean, they have a great offense that they can just show it, Seems like they just cannot get over the hump, it seems like, the past few years. But I just like the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys. but their offense just seems like they're pretty good. Zeke Elliott is just a beast. So I think like if they just keep giving him the ball, he'll just do his thing, man. Get a few touchdowns in there. I mean, they have great receivers. CeeDee Lamb, he looked good, you know. So yeah, I got the Cowboys winning this one.
Alrighty. So now we'll move on to the final 1 o'clock game of Sunday, and that is going to be the Giants going to Chicago to take on the Bears. The Bears look to go 2-0 and still be tied for first, assuming the Packers win, but the Giants want to get their first win. I'm going to start off, because we did start off with Bruce last time, so I'm going to go next. I'm going to go with the Giants in this game. I liked what I saw from Daniel Jones. Doesn't look like he's a top-tier quarterback. However, he does look good. He's got some guys to throw to. He's got Ingram, obviously. He's, what's his name? Golden Tate. Yeah, they have Golden Tate. He was out Monday. So that, was a piece he lost. I do think the defense improved a little with Logan Ryan going there. Obviously, you got Barkley. I think he's going to have a big game today. And to be honest, I don't trust Mitchell Trubisky. I don't trust him at all. Yeah, he looked better than he normally did, or did last year. He looked better yesterday. However, he still isn't somebody I'm going to trust. I think he's going to overthrow it 25 times. But who knows? It's a contract year, so maybe he's going to play lights out so he can look good for wherever he goes, whether it's still Chicago or a new team. But I do feel like the Giants are going to win. It's going to be close. I would say 7 or less. Because honestly, I don't think these two are like really good teams. I think they potentially could finish second or third in their division. Like I said, I predicted the Giants to finish second ahead of the Cowboys. So I'm going to stick with that. And I got the I got the Giants winning this game. And now we're going to go to Matty. Who do you got?
Okay, so I look at this as a tale of two games. I'm picking the Bears, and it's one reason. My ex-wife, and if you know me, I can't stand her anymore, especially after we split up. And she, left Caleb. She is a Giants fan, and I would literally have to hang myself if I took the Giants. The Bears look pretty good. Like, they look pretty good. The Bears look good. The Giants looked okay in their season opener. Like Matt said, they had some promise here and there. But I'm going to go with the Bears, and I'm going to say fuck you to my ex-wife, and we're going to move on.
Okay. I totally understand why you went with the Bears on that one. So now we're going to go to Papa. Jacob, who do you got in this one?
Matt, I'm going to mirror some stuff that you said. Daniel Jones had a couple, had some throws that looked very, very good. Mm-hmm. He definitely had some moments against the Steelers. And then Saquon Barkley only had 6 yards rushing.
Yeah, which was weird.
Ben Roethlisberger outrushed Saquon Barkley. James Conner, who only played a half, outrushed Saquon Barkley. I definitely see that being a fluke game. Yes, these Steelers have an amazing front seven. The Bears have some players on their seven, but an overall front seven, they don't have the best. And Mitchell Trubisky, for the first 3 quarters of that game, looked like a third-string quarterback. So yeah, I can't trust him either. I have the Giants winning this one, but again, it's going to be it's not going to be a great game to watch.
Right. Okay. Now we're going to go to Steve the Pirate. Who do you have in this one?
Yeah, I'm just going to say Saquon Barkley. He's going to have a bit bigger game than he did, previous game. I mean, the Bears allowed AP to rush for almost 100 yards, so I think Saquon's going to be rushing over 100 yards against them. So, and then I don't know if you guys heard about Allen Robinson saying he wants to be traded.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I'm guessing that he don't like the way things are getting run down in Chicago. So I'm guessing the Bears is just done for this year. So, yeah, I think the Giants is, with all the problems going on with Chicago, I think the Giants are going to be able to pull it out. So.
Yeah, I will gladly take Robinson and Indy for sure. So now we're going to go to.
He's a big asset, that's for sure. He's a big asset.
I love him. I love him. He's on my fantasy team for
Can you
for
still hear the noise?
Not really.
Not right now.
Say if we hear it again, then
good.
I'll let you know in the private chat while somebody's talking. And anyways,
So yeah, all great points. I'm gonna go with the Giants on this one. I went back and forth. I mean, Slayton, he he was on my fantasy team on my bench, and he went off last game. So I think he's going to be big. Sterling Shepard, he's back this year, and him back in the offense is big. I think Saquon Barkley's going to have a real big game. Their defense is so, but I mean it's a home game. It's a home game for Chicago. Trubisky, I don't know. I mean, Trubisky does what he does. I mean, Allen Robinson seems like he's not happy there. And Chicago, I mean, their defense is going to keep him in this game. But at the end of the day, the Giants are going to find a way to win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, you got Logan Ryan. I think he's going to cause problems for Trubisky for sure. So next we have the Washington football team traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Both are 1-0. Who would have known? Who would have knew? Both would be 1-0, but here we are. Both are 1-0. This is the first 4:00 game. So we're going to start with Matt here. Matty, who do you got between the football team and the Cardinals?
Well, okay. For those who don't know, Matty G lives in basically just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. I live 35 minutes from my front door to Cardinal Stadium. I want to point something out. Now, most sophomore quarterbacks don't have a good start. Well, Kyler Murray, actually, if you look at him last year, kind of crumbled because he didn't really have protection around him and so forth. Passing, he went 26 of 40, which is, yes, a 65%. Not the greatest. For 230 yards, one throwing TD, and one rushing touchdown. One interception. He ran for 13 yards, and he should have gone over 100, or he carried 13 times for over 100. They're showing 91 because of the stupid kneels. Whatever. Kenyon Drake carried the ball for 16 times the 60 yards. Chase Edmonds went 6 for 26. Now, in my opinion, the biggest thing that happened over the offseason is that now Papa and Matt will both attest to this. I was a huge David Johnson fan. I still am. But news broke, and when I first read it, I went straight to Matt about it because, he's my sports buddy, and then Papa, and we had a discussion behind the scenes that they traded David Johnson for DeAndre Hopkins straight across the board. DeAndre went 14 receptions for 151 yards. That dwarfs everybody else. Everybody else went 2 or 3 times for 34 yards is the highest. Their average about 20. Larry Fitzgerald Jr., in my opinion, the greatest, whatever, you can at me all you want, the greatest receiver of all time, went 4 receptions for 34 yards. So Kenyon Drake went 2 for 5. He went 2 catches for 5 yards. Chase Edmonds went 3 for 19 with 1 touchdown. But there is something that happened behind the scenes this week. Budda Baker, in my opinion, one of the most underrated defensive players of all time. got some really racist comments sent to him by San Francisco fans.
I think I saw that. That was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. Like even the 49ers players are coming out and going, that's bullshit. So they've got something, he's pissed. And if you watch him, he is a massive beast. Kick returns, Chase Edmonds went 1 reception for 42 yards. So Kirk went 2 for 8, which is not a big deal. Obviously, I'm taking the Cardinals, if you can't tell. If you can't tell, I actually think that it's possible the Cardinals are going to win this division this year. I know it's really early to claim that. But the Cardinals came out and they looked good. I mean, yes, the first half, I'll be the first to admit, Kyler Murray looked a little shaky at best. But that's something those are the cobwebs that get knocked off during preseason. But once he finally, the kid can run. Like he's got that baseball slide. One thing that the Cardinals coach actually did is he went out and hired a baseball player to teach him how to slide to protect himself. And guess what? He actually got a couple of players popped for unnecessary roughness because of his slide. I like the fact that he's not afraid to. One thing they said is that he can take a passing lane and turn it into a running lane. So, sorry, I had to get on the rant. Cardinals are going to win. 9/11 recap was, 9/11 came up, and the Cardinals always play good right around that time for Pat Tillman. They've got the momentum. They beat the second best team in the NFL last year. And they may have started out rocky. I mean, it started out as a 10-0 game at the end of basically the end of the first quarter, and they came back and won, and they did it decisively. So Cardinals are going to win.
Okay. We're going to go to Jacob. Jerry Rice is the greatest receiver of all time, Matt. You're crazy. Jacob, who do you got?
Very crazy, Matty.
Gerald would run over his ass. Excuse me. Wait. Time out. I got to respond to that. Matt, how many consecutive games did Jerry Rice play with a catch? I
don't know.
With a reception. Larry Fitzgerald's pushing almost 300.
Just who doesn't have the stats? Who has the most
Who has the most yards of all time?
Larry Fitzgerald's still playing, so you can't pull that one.
It's not even close with first and second. No. Like it's by almost 10,000 yards. Who has the most touchdown receptions?
I'll give you that. But
who has a Super Bowl ring? Papa.
Yeah, but that was how many years ago, though? That was how many fucking years ago?
Because he played how many fucking years ago?
And he played in a time where it was a running league, too.
We're not saying the 49ers are the best franchise ever. He's just saying Jerry Rice is the best receiver of all time.
I was about to say, I was about to start discussing that one. I actually heard my mom walk past into her room, and she must have heard some of it because she just yelled, "The Cardinals are the greatest dynasty of all time," or the Cowboys. I'm sorry, the Cowboys are the greatest dynasty of all time. I don't agree with that either, but she's wrong about that. But.
Yeah.
So anyways, our last week predictions, there was one game that I was very back and forth, and that was the Cardinals 49ers. I ended up going with the 49ers, and Matty tried to get me to go with the Cardinals. And just for some reason, I didn't listen to him, because if I had listened to him, I'd be in sole possession of first place.
But you didn't, bitch.
I didn't, and we're tied now. Here's the thing with that really killed the Eagles. Once the throwing wasn't great in that third quarter, they didn't have a running game to go to. Of course, with Miles Sanders being injured, they had Scott, who is a very small gentleman, who got eaten alive pretty much. Whereas the Cardinals, they have Kyler Murray, a running quarterback, Kenyon Drake, a great running back. They have the weapons to fall back. Hey, if this isn't working, I can go this route. So I am going to learn from my mistakes last week, and I'm going to pick the Cardinals to come out with the win in this game.
Alrighty.
I feel like I should hug you for that, Pop.
You come here.
You've taken both of my favorite foods this week. I love you, bud.
All
We're
right.
fighting for life, brother.
And just to update you, Matt, Larry Fitzgerald is second in receiving yards. However, he's down by like almost 6,000. He's not going to pass Jerry Rice, and he's down by 77 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, I don't. I never said he was going to beat him, but
Yeah,
you got to give him credit though. He's done all of this with one team and like 5 quarterbacks. So
True.
like the Cardinals get rid of quarterbacks just like. Never mind. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Never mind. Wrong show.
All right.
Like Aaron sees hookers at McDonald's, but
Right.
It was one time. Y'all are never going to let him live that
watch our
down.
show. And Steve and Bruce, if y'all watch our other shows, you'd understand that one.
Right.
Bruce is like, I watch that show. Steve doesn't, but I do.
Right. But no, we're gonna. Speaking of Steve, we're gonna go Steve now. Who do you have in this game?
Well, I got the Cardinals. I think that the biggest addition, of course, is DeAndre Hopkins. You know, I think they was missing like a big time receiver. You know, like a young receiver like DeAndre, because Larry Fitz is like getting old. You know, he's old, so he's not the same player as he was 5 years ago. So I think DeAndre Hopkins was a big fit for them. You know, big key piece they needed. As you can see, he had 14 catches. You said it's a lot.
14. Yeah, 14 for almost 200.
Yeah, and he almost had that touchdown that was called back, at the 1 yard line. So, I think
that was bullshit. He was in.
So yeah,
they
I think
were fucking in too.
They had a great first game against a great 49ers team with a great defense. They stopped them pretty good, and like I was talking to B on our podcast that I have the Cardinals actually going to the Super Bowl this year. So they were my Super Bowl team.
I'm gonna hug you too.
I have them beating Washington by a lot. So,
all right.
And I'm gonna hug Steve too, apparently, because I have Cardinals Titans in the Super Bowl. I know.
Oh,
I'm
shocking. Shocking. All right. Now we're gonna go to Bruce, and then we'll go on to the next game. Who do you have in this one?
Yeah, Arizona, man. They looked good last game. I think Washington, they had their fun with that win that they shouldn't have got, and they're going to go up against a team that can run the football. Their O-line's not beat up. Kyler Murray can run around and create offense. You saw a lot of DeAndre Hopkins. I think you'll see some of Christian Kirk. Larry Fitz is always reliable. Kenyon Drake, they're going to run the football a lot. That's what they want to start with, and I think. They got an underrated defense, and they're gonna take this game. I could see it being like a 17-point margin. So,
oof,
yeah.
Okay. All right, and
Matt,
I forgot I didn't go yet. So
Matt, who are you taking?
So I expect to see Kyler Murray, and he's snapping, looking like this, head just barely over the shoulder.
I mean, you know what though? That's okay. It works for him.
And then he kind of has to jump when he throws it. But no, I got the Cardinals winning this too. I like Washington a lot. Like I said, I think when you have this is kind of like the Colts, when Luck was a rookie, where Bruce Arians did take over for Chuck Pagano, who had leukemia, and they came together because it was a
Matt, we know
thing.
Chuck Pagano
got yes, he had cancer. I don't even know if I think he's still coaching on the Bears. I think Pagano's on the Bears. He might have been fired. I don't know. But he was there last year, but I don't know if he got fired. But anyway, so I think Washington can kind of come together like that. I like Ron Rivera as a coach overall. I like what they got going in the front office now. Some of the new guys they have there, I think, can really help them. Ron Rivera's done a really good job, I think, there. However, I just think Arizona's too much for them. Kyler Murray, he can throw it, he can run with it. So I just can't see Washington stopping that. Maybe if it was like Seattle, maybe you can stop that. Or if they were playing against like a better defensive team, maybe that defensive team could stop Kyler Murray. However, I just don't see Washington stopping them. I don't think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be like a complete and utter blowout, but I don't think it's going to be close in this one. So I do have the Cardinals winning. Now we're going to go to the Chiefs as they're playing the Chargers in Los Angeles in their brand new stadium that they share with the Rams. So we're going to start off with
Chuck Logano is not coaching anymore.
okay, so yeah, he got fired then, or he just left.
Chuck Logano, I don't know who the crap that is. It's Chuck Pagano.
Logano, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. No, so he either got fired or he just left Chicago because he was the defensive coordinator, or left or retired. One of those.
Probably got fired for not having cancer.
True. Yeah, he didn't have cancer, so he
wow.
It's like, wow, we didn't come together because of you, man. You know, your first year in Indy, you had cancer. We were expecting the same. I'm sorry. I am very sorry. But we're going to go to Jacob. Who do you got in this game between the Chiefs and the Chargers?
Yes, so the Chargers getting their first home game to christen SoFi Stadium. Thankfully, the Rams were able to and get the win because the Chargers, if they wanted to get a win, they would want to play anyone but the Chiefs. The Chiefs were amazing Thursday night against the Texans. And one crazy thing, too, is Mahomes wasn't throwing the deep ball as much. He had a lot of, 10 to 15-yard passes. Clyde Edwards-Helaire tore up the Texans. It's going to be similar. The Chargers are going to be able to put up some offense, but it's going to be a scoring fest for the Chiefs.
All right. So now we're going to go to Steve the Pirate. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, just echoing on top of there. I think the Chiefs' offense is just too dominant. You know, they don't do the same thing that they did last week. Just throw the ball, run it with Hilaire. And Chargers, I don't like Tyrod Taylor. With him at quarterback, it's going to be hard for them to get their offense going. I think Austin Eckler can do his thing, but I think the Chiefs just going to be too unstoppable on offense.
Okay.
So I got the Chiefs.
Alrighty. Now we're going to go to Bruce. Who do you have in this one?
Yeah, man. The Chiefs, man. You can't deny that their offense is ridiculous. They added Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he showed that he is going to be great for that offense. If they can get him involved more in the passing game, that could be really deadly. I know they use Darrell Williams or more for the passing game, but I mean, it's going to be ugly. I think Chiefs. I think the Chargers will stick around. They'll put some points up because the Chiefs' defense is so, but they're not going to be able to stick with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to end up running away with this late. Chiefs are going to win double digits.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs too. I actually think the Chargers have a better defense than Houston. I know Houston has Watt. They have J.J. Watt, but I don't think Houston's defense is all that good. They're not great at stopping the run. Their secondary gets burnt like toast all the time. So the Houston defense really isn't much. But I do like Chargers defense still. You got Joey Bosa still. Malcolm Ingram, I don't know if he has signed yet. I know he was holding in, is what he called it. Instead of holding out, he actually was at the, where they had training camp, but he just didn't participate in anything. So if he's playing, if they get a deal with him, that's going to help the Chargers a lot on the defensive side. And I feel bad for Tyrod Taylor. He takes Buffalo to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years at the time. Then he goes to Cleveland where quarterbacks go to die. Doesn't look too bad.
Sorry, Bruce.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's but he doesn't look too bad in Cleveland. I don't think he was the right guy for that team. I think they were built for Baker. I think he plays different than Baker, and now he's in Los Angeles, and he was sitting behind Phillip Rivers for a year. Now he's taken over. I just hope because it's going to be Justin Herbert's team. By the end of this year, I think. I just hope Tyrod Taylor finds a place where he can stay for more than a year. Because I do think he's pretty good. I don't think he's top 10, maybe not even top 15, but I do think he's a good quarterback. I like Eckler a lot as their running back. He's doing really good things. Got Keenan Allen on there as well. Kansas City's too much. That's basically the exact same team as last year in Kansas City. They're going to win this game. I think it's going to be closer than what the Houston game was. I think it's going to be a little bit closer, but it's not going to be to the point to where the Chargers have an opportunity to win at the end. I think it'll be over by the fourth quarter, but it's not going to be like a complete blowout. So now we're going to go to Matty on this one. Yeah,
Matt, I do want to say Melvin Ingram did play week 1, so he is playing. Okay. Yeah, he got 2 tackles and an interception.
Oh, there you go. I did not know he was playing. I thought he was out. So maybe they did get that contract.
Okay, this is fairly simple. Myself and the kid, we go through and do our own predictions just because, he usually just picks whatever team, Now, the Chiefs, his PE coach in school when he had it, named Coach Woody, is a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan. Somehow he manipulated Caleb to the dark side, and Caleb now owns. He was given it's a T-shirt, but it's basically a jersey for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I said, Caleb, should I pick? I'm gonna pick, and I messed with him and said the other team, and he looked at me and said, "The hell you are! You were taking my Chiefs, Dad." Jacob, Matt, you both know the kid. When he's got a point, he will make it very clear. I was hosting a match over on Hunter's League for him, and he actually coached and managed Sandy the Sandman Robinson to a victory. So the kid knows what he's talking about. I said, Caleb, for tonight for our pick, should I pick the other team? He looked at me and said, "No, Daddy, no. Do not be stupid. No stupid heads. You want to win, pick my Chiefs." So, obviously, I'm picking the Chiefs.
All right. All right, so next we have the Baltimore Ravens as they travel to Houston to take on the Texans. The Ravens want to get a 2-0 start to the year, and Houston is still looking to get their first win. We're going to start with Jacob on this, or we're going to start with Steve on this one.
Okay.
Steve, who do you...
Well, it's unfortunate for the Texans. They got to face pretty much the same offense, just like the Chiefs, with the Ravens, and I think it's going to be the same result. Ravens are going to win this one. I think Houston, with them getting David Johnson, he looked good, but they don't really have no, great receivers. They have Brandon Cooks, who's injury prone. Will Fuller's injury prone. They don't really have nobody else, So it's like Deshaun Watson's going to do his thing, but you can't trust any of the receivers he has. So it's going to be tough for him to get offense going. I think the Ravens is just too powerful. Lamar Jackson's going to do his thing with running. And with Mark Ingram, and J.K. Dobbins doing good last week, he's going to get the ball more, probably do some options with him. And then, Mark Andrews will do that play fake pass to him down the middle. So, yeah, I think Ravens big in this one. Probably 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Now we're going to go to Bruce. Who do you have in this one?
Yeah, more the Ravens, man. Lamar Jackson in that offense just seems like they haven't missed a beat from last year. J.K. Dobbins, the big addition to that offense. He showed what he can do last game. I think you're going to see a lot more of him. I mean, of course, you still got Ingram, Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews. So many weapons. And Lamar, I mean, when he starts running, he didn't even use his legs much last game. So once he starts getting into that part of his game, they're unstoppable. And their defense is really good. So not much more to say. I mean, Houston, it's a home game for him. Deshaun Watson, he's an X factor. You can't really count him out. They added David Johnson. So, I mean, he looked good in his first game with Houston. So, I think it's going to be a close game. But at the end, Baltimore's going to run away with it, maybe 10 points. Baltimore.
Okay. Alrighty. I got Baltimore, too. Look, Lamar Jackson, the big question was, can he continue what he was doing from last year to this year, because we know the NFL has the smartest defensive minds in the league as their coaches. So defensive coordinators are going to have their game plans set for Lamar Jackson. And usually, kind of like with Robert Griffin III, you kind of see them take advantage of that, or Baker, or anybody else who has a great year the year before. But Lamar looks really good. The Ravens offense looks good. And the Ravens have a better defense than Kansas City, and that's going to hurt Houston. I mean, Deshaun Watson, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, I believe, but you don't have Hopkins anymore. You don't have your safety blanket. Will Fuller is good. He's a really good number 2, but I don't think he's that number 1 guy. Brandon Cooks, looked like he could potentially have something, but I think they're going to struggle against the Ravens in this game. So I have Houston starting 0-2 and potentially being 4th in AFC South. So now we're going to go to Matty. Who do you have in this one? He's frozen, baby. Oh, no.
Wait, how do I put... Sorry. No, sorry. That store, yeah, my internet sucks from time to time. Apartment living, hey. This is pretty cut and dry, in my opinion. The Texans are in our division. Besides that, Lamar Jackson looks like there was no big break between the Super Bowl and now, and COVID and not having preseason. He looks like he's missed a step. David Johnson, I'm going to go back to something I've said over and over again. Ever since he got hurt in 2017 and missed all of 2018 and came back in 2019, has been afraid to put his foot in the ground. He started to look better last week, but he has become more of an east and west runner than a north and south runner. Yes, we've seen him. He can break runs and get away. But, the Texans really don't have that big target like they had when Hopkins is there. You can't run the you can't run the ball the whole time. Tennessee's proven that. You can't do that. So Baltimore's going to win this very decisively.
Okay. Now we're going to go to Jacob, and then we'll move on to our Sunday night game.
I don't know who the Texans pissed off to open up the season against the Chiefs, and then they have the Ravens.
I
Next week,
a lot of money.
Next week, they're going to have the Steelers. So they're going to have 3 very tough games.
Damn.
Thankfully, they have a pretty easy season after that. But it's going to be a bad beginning to the season. Watson was able to get 253 yards and a touchdown against the Chiefs, but a lot of that came in the fourth quarter when the Chiefs defense was already pretty badly hurt, but also not playing as strong as they could be because they were up by so much and a touchdown didn't matter. So it's going to be very similar to this. The Ravens are gonna get to a very quick lead, get to a big lead, just like they did against the Browns. But Watson, he is a phenomenal player. He's going to be able to get that team to at least score multiple touchdowns as opposed to the Browns.
Okay.
Just not enough.
Jabs right in the Browns. Always jabbing the Browns. Bam.
It's easy. I'm sorry.
That's like, well, see, we can't even go with the Jags. Last week when we recorded this, the Jags were the easy target.
Yeah. So
We can't do that. So we got to go with something.
yeah, we gotta go with a new team.
Got to go with the dog pound.
Yeah, sorry guys. All right, and now
It's
we're
like,
going
fuck
to.
you guys, I'm leaving. Fuck you guys, I'm going home. And Steve, when you find a big shit in your pillow, you'll know who it is.
Oh,
right.
crap.
Those are fighting
Literally.
Chris is like,
So-
that's my plan, bitch.
All right, so now we're going to our Sunday night game. It is a Super Bowl rematch, and it is New England taking on Seattle. Very different New England team.
I was about to say, is it really, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's New England, Seattle, Super Bowl rematch, but it's different New England going up against a pretty similar Seattle team minus Marshawn Lynch. So we're going to start out with Bruce on this one. Who do you have in this game?
Well, this may be a shock to people. I mean, it's going to be a good game no matter what. It's at Seattle. Seattle looked really good last game, but, Cam Newton looked also really good. He ran a lot. I think he's going to pass a lot more against Seattle. Seattle has a pretty good defense. It's a home game for Seattle, but I got New England, Belichick, Cam Newton, Sunday night. I think New England's the real deal, man. I think they're going to do exactly what they do every year and, just keep winning. And Cam Newton just adds another element with his legs. So as long as they can keep him healthy and keep him upright, he's a really good quarterback, and he's going to show it this year. So New England, close, like 28-24. Close.
Okay. So this is where the journey to the number 3 spot in AFC East begins for New England. I kid. I think they'll get second. Looking at it now, Miami being a big disappointment, but I have Seattle winning this game. I look it by just looking, kind of paying attention to scores and whatnot. It did take New England a little bit to, kind of jump ahead and just
settle
kind
down.
of get that win. Seattle has a better defense. Seattle has a much better offense. Russell Wilson, I think, is going to tear up New England's defense. He is a top 2 quarterback, I think. I would put him ahead of Lamar Jackson, personally. He's my number 2. Patrick Mahomes is my number 1.
So you did say 2.
I said 2.
Okay.
I said 2. I think he is
Wow.
better than Lamar Jackson because, especially looking at last year, he legit was carrying that Seattle offense on his back for most of that season. And Seattle's offense looks better now. He's looking, like I said, top 2 type of quarterback. Now, maybe it's because he played Atlanta. Sorry, Kevin. So that might have something to do with it. But Russell Wilson is a monster. I'm going Seattle, and I'm going Seattle big. So now we're going to go to Matty.
Wait, how big?
14 to 21 points as far as how much they won by.
Okay.
New England's lost a lot on defense because some of their big pieces, left, and they were playing a close game with Miami for a while. And this was when Ryan Fitzpatrick was throwing an interception or two. So I got Seattle big time.
Okay. I want to piggyback off of something, Matt, you said. New England's defense is not that good. I mean, look at Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry ran over the top of them, and they knew it. And what's even scarier is when Tennessee played them in the wild card seed, the Titans coach is a brilliant coach, but he's not the Seahawks coach. The Seahawks have I mean, Russell Wilson, I wouldn't put him in the top 2, but I definitely put him up there. Cam Newton is cocky, which is good as a quarterback, but you could see that he struggled a little bit. He needed that preseason time to kind of get the kinks worked out. I don't think that the Seahawks on the 1 yard line are going to throw the football instead of running it this time against the Patriots. I think they'll run the ball. I too have Seattle winning. I don't have it as a massive blowout, but I definitely have it as a win. Now, if they had preseason, this might be a little different, in my opinion. But they didn't have preseason.
Okay. Now we're going to go to Jacob on this one. Who do you have in this game?
So yes, New England is currently 1-0 right now. But if you look at that game last week, it was against the Dolphins. Not a great team, and they only won 21-11.
And they could have beaten the Browns. If they had played the Browns, Miami to beat the Browns.
The Dolphins always play the Patriots good.
That is true. I mean, look at last year. The Dolphins beat the Patriots last year with Brady.
But if you look at that game, I mean, it's a different Patriots team than we're used to seeing. Neither team was playing.
The same to me.
Neither team was playing the best that they could be. Now, it's a very Belichick thing to do, to say, hey, Jacob, joke's on you, because I'm not going to make my team look any better than they need to be. And they can go out and destroy the Seahawks, because that's what Bill Belichick does. But I don't see that team being anywhere close to what they need to be to beat the Seahawks. Seahawks are one of the favorites in the NFC to win the Super Bowl. Most of us picked them to have not win the NFC West to get second place in it. Unfortunately, there won't be any fans there because that stadium is built for fans, but it is what it is. Still, I mean, Russell Wilson is one of the greatest quarterbacks playing right now. And while, yes, they have Stephon Gilmore, he can only cover one side of the field. And the Seahawks have multiple weapons to exploit the other side of the field that Stephon Gilmore is not on.
You underestimate his power.
A little bit, but not much.
All right. So we're going to go Steve real quick, and then we'll move on to our Monday night game. Who do you have in this one?
All right, 2 words, Bill Belichick. Okay, he'll find a way to win this game. And I think that Cam Newton looked a little bit iffy, but he's still trying to get used to the offense with the receivers. You know, they don't really have, like, big-time guys. They have Julian Edelman. That's pretty much it. I think N'Keal Harry's he's still trying to find his rhythm with him being injured last year. So I think once he gets going, I think that the Patriots, like B was saying, they're just going to keep doing what they do and win. So, I mean, I think they're going to beat the Seahawks with a close game, I think.
Okay. So now we're going to.
So you might well just, like I said, Matt, you should just, for them, put their
Right. Now we're going to move on to our Monday night game real quick. And then, because I do work third shift during the week starting next week, we might have to record on a different day. We'll also throw in the Thursday night just to be safe, so we don't forget about that if we record past Thursday. But if we record before then we don't have to cover it on the next episode. And we'll go through these really quick because I just realized it's over 2 hours. So we're going to fly through these real quick. And then
yeah, my phone's at like 4% too, so...
Okay, so we'll fly through really, really quick. It's the Saints.
Matt, why did you just let him go first?
Yeah, well, I'll let you do your Monday night pick and your Thursday night pick real quick. The Monday night game is New Orleans going to Vegas, and then the Thursday night game, a sneak peek for you guys, is the Dolphins and the Jags. Who do you got winning those games?
All right, well... On the Monday night, I got the Saints. You know, Saints can count out Drew Brees. Alvin Kamara is going to have his, normal 2-touchdown game. The Raiders looked good last week with Josh Jacobs going off. Him and Christian McCaffrey doing their thing. But I just think that the Saints are just too good.
Okay. And then between the Jags and the Dolphins, who do you think's going to win that game?
I got the Jaguars in that one. That with them looking good last week, I think that they can beat the Dolphins. Dolphins just their offense not good. So I got the Jaguars in that one.
Okay. And really quick, just in case you end up disappearing, can you tell the people where they can find
His
you?
brother can do that.
Yeah, my brother can do that.
Okay,
because,
we'll do that then.
Yeah.
Okay.
right,
Well, if you disappear while one of us is talking, I'll see you. If not, then we'll see you when we close out. So
Monday.
we're going to go to Bruce.
Sunday.
So who do you have winning between the Saints and the Raiders?
Well, New Orleans, man, they got so many weapons on offense. The Raiders are going to come into this game trying to control the clock, and they're going to try to feed Jacobs. They want to try to keep it at their pace. But once New Orleans, takes the lead and they can score at will, I think the Raiders aren't built for that. They're a running team, and once they get behind, it's going to be hard for them. So I got the Saints winning that one. And
Okay.
as far as the Thursday, you want me to do the Thursday night as well, or?
We'll just do the third. Yep, there he is. We'll do Monday night and Thursday night in the same one. So, who do you got winning the Thursday night game between the Jags and the Dolphins?
All right. Yeah. Thursday night, I'm gonna take Miami. I like Gardner Minshew. I like the Jags, but I mean, if Miami's healthy, let me say that their receivers need to be healthy. Devontae Parker is a key to that offense, and I like Matt Breida. They need to get him involved a lot more, and I like Miami's defense. They hung in there with the Patriots, so I'm gonna take Miami. But the Jags, that it's gonna be a close game.
Alrighty. For me, the Monday night game, I have the Saints winning against the Raiders. I do like what the Raiders have. Henry Ruggs did look pretty good in his first game. Had a couple of nice plays. And Derek Carr, I mean, I'm a fan of Derek Carr. I think he has the potential to be a top 10 quarterback in the league. He had that MVP like season where he could have won the MVP and then got hurt. But I just think the Saints are too much. I think they have a really good defense, and their offense is, even without Michael Thomas, is better than the Panthers' offense. And then for the Thursday night game, just going off of what we've seen so far in week one, things could obviously change in week two. I got the Jags winning. I just think they're a better team at the end of the day, which I was not expecting to say. But just looking at what they're offering right now, I do like some of the receivers that Jacksonville has with Chenault and Chark. Minshew is looking like he could be pretty decent in the league. He's looking like he can get the job done when needed. Their run game looks good. Defense looks like it has bright spots, so I'm picking the Jags in that game. Close game, but I think the Jags pull it out at the end of the day. Now we're going to go to Matt real quick. Who do you got between the Saints and Raiders, and then the Thursday night game, which would be the Dolphins and Jags?
Monday, I'm actually looking forward to this game because we get to actually see what the Raiders field looks like. Their new stadium that they just built. Curiosity. My mom and I were discussing it. Being a player, being an NFL team in Vegas probably has to be pretty interesting. Just stating that. But I'm going to, obviously, you can't count out Drew Brees. Drew Brees is arguably, in my opinion, top 3 quarterback. He is probably one of the greatest of all time. And then Thursday night, Tony Khan. My address is. You can send me those AEW tickets to that. I'm gonna go with the Jags.
Okay. And then we're going to go to Jacob, and then we'll do our closings. Who do you have in the Monday night game between the Saints and Raiders, and then Thursday between Miami and Jags?
Yep. So I definitely see the Saints and Raiders being a fun game to watch. Matt, I'm just like you. Derek Carr is a really good quarterback. No one gives him the credit he deserves. But he is going against Drew Brees, who is my pick for MVP because the man deserves one by now.
Yeah.
And he also deserves a second Super Bowl. Let's do it, Saints.
I forgot that he was. I forgot that he was never been an MVP champ or MVP.
Yeah.
I just that still surprises me.
Yep. So I have the Saints winning that game, and then the Dolphins Jaguars Thursday night. I think that this will be the game that we see Tua play. Fitzpatrick will play the first half, maybe a little bit of that third quarter, but then we see them give the reins to Tua. It's gonna be a little bit too late because the Jags will have a big enough lead. Tua will bring them back, but not enough. I think it'll be the Jags winning that one.
Okay. And there we have it. That is the end of the show. So we're going to do our closings really quick. So we're going to start out with Matty. Where can people find you?
I was going to pull that dick move and use yours. I won't. You can find me right here at TMG Entertainment. I host three other live shows. This goes real quick. This goes up Wednesday, right?
Maybe. it
Wednesday,
is due to my time. Yeah, either Wednesday or Thursday.
All right, and jump back in 5, 4. You can find me Thursdays. I host Suplex City Chats. That is an all wrestling talk show. We discuss all the major things in wrestling. We might start covering New Japan a little bit more once the G1 happens, which is basically New Japan Pro Wrestling's biggest tournament. It's if you follow us over on TMG Trivia, it's similar to Franchise Wars, but that's another story. Saturday nights we do After Dark. This week on After Dark Takeover, our friend Alan, the dinosaur, is going to be bringing a friend of his along with him. You may know him from America's Got Talent. He placed third. I should have looked up his name again. That is my bad. But he placed third. He is a stand-up comedian. He's going to come hang out with us for that. Sunday, I do what is known as Movie Mania. I did not get that name from anybody around. This was something I created on my own. It is our movie-based, basically, game show. There's no records, there's no titles, no nothing like that. You win, congratulations. You lose, better luck next week. This week we do have Sandy Robinson joining us from Full Metal, so that should be a good laugh. He's never really got to hang out with us and our soundboard and Nikki's antics, so that could be fun. Yeah. Oh, over on TMG Trivia, I do spearhead the singles division. You want to get involved in that, reach out to me. I can get you in a match. And then, back here on TMG Trivia, I am the Game Zone Commissioner. I don't compete in very many leagues, but I do like to run my own. Right now, we are working up to a tournament because, there's this guy. He won the belt. He was gifted the belt because, the person... Well, hold on. The person he was supposed to compete backed out, and then he became champ, and then he had to defend the belt against somebody, and that person backed out, which is kind of depressing. And then he defended it, actually, twice, and he has won both times. He is probably the best, in my opinion, Game Zone debater of all time. That would be Papa West. We are getting to trying to figure out who he's going to compete against next. If you'd like to throw your hat in the ring to try and get to him, reach out to me.
Okay. Now we're going to go to Papa West. Where can the people find you?
I have not defended that belt yet, Matty. So I don't know where you're getting that from.
No bullshit. You did beat Nikki.
I beat him to win it.
No, We'll
We'll talk
I'd
about
already
this
given
later.
you the belt. No, I'd
We'll
already
talk about this
given you
later.
the chance. No, I can take it away, goddammit.
You can find me here at TMG Entertainment. If trivia is not your thing, you like yelling at each other. TMG Entertainment, the heart of debate. I run late TV fights. I partake in all the other leagues, help out with all the other leagues. I am a champion in 2 of those leagues. That would be Game Zone and
good
Sports
for
Brawl.
you.
Thank you. And, if you're sitting there like, oh, well, I do enjoy trivia as well. I do also run TMG Trivia. I help with the singles like all the other admins do. I'm also the head of TMG Teams. So if you're like, I like trivia, but I don't want to do it alone, get a partner first and then hit me up. Because while I say I can hook you up with a partner, I have yet to hook anybody up with a partner. That's not my job. That's your job. But I'll hook you up with a match against 2 other partners. I'll do that for you. And then, also, exciting news! TMG Sports! We are having our first match dropping pretty soon. That will be Alec versus Kevin, the 2 other gentlemen that will be helping me run TMG Sports. But that is coming as well.
Alrighty. Now we're going to go to Bruce. Steven did drop out. I assume his phone died. So where can the people find you and Steven at?
Well, we run a podcast. That's BS Podcast. You can find us anywhere that you can listen to a podcast. We just talk movies, Schmodown. We recently just started talking about NFL because it's back. College football. We're big Big Ten Michigan fans, so hopefully, that's on the horizon. We're hoping they just released the schedule that will be. So hopefully they vote for that. We'll hear in the next couple days, I guess. And yeah, we talk sports. Check us out. Yeah, glad to be on. Can't wait to be on again. Love talking to you guys. And yeah,
we don't like you.
Thank you guys for coming on the show.
I know Tim and his brother, so it's like we don't like you, obviously.
Damn it!
Right. But thank you guys for coming on this week, though. It was definitely a lot of fun. A little longer, but I kind of expected it to be a little longer. You can find me here. I am on After Dark. I'm on Movie Mania, unless I'm sick, which I did have a flu game last week, even though I didn't win.
And you actually did better than you normally do. I just want to point that out.
I don't know. I thought I did worse.
No, I went back and reviewed scores, Matt. You actually did better than you normally do. You actually scored like almost twice as many points as you normally do. Right.
So if you guys want to watch me suck at something, tune in to Movie Mania. Be a lot of fun. All around. Matty's mind had 2:11 in the morning is unfiltered, so he's thinking 30 dirty thoughts because I said the word sucking. But anyway, so you can find me on there. I also run Movie Battleground, so if you want to compete in Movie Battleground, just debate about movies and whatnot, contact me. I may not get to you because as Bruce knows, if I didn't add you as a friend, I'm not going to see it for a little bit. So if you are waiting a day, I do apologize.
Or just get it, just get in the chats here and go, Matt Beer, what the fuck, man? I tried reaching out to you to compete in Movie Battleground, you dickhead, and you.
Matt doesn't read the comments.
Yeah, I don't read comments. Come on, no, I kid. I read all the comments because I want to get the bad boys out of here. We only take good boys here. Good boys in the comments.
Yes. We don't want Reggie Bush in this chat. So.
Yeah, we don't need Reggie Bush. Don't Michael Vick in the chat. All that. So thank you guys for coming in. I've been Matt. That's been Matty. That's been Papa. That was Steve, but Steve is gone, so he's somewhere. I don't know. And that's Bruce.
He's on a pirate ship.
Yeah, he's sailing. He's going to be playing dodgeball later on. And we'll see you next time.